Hi guys. Sorry I'm not there today. Unfortunately, my daughter is sick, and so I have to go to the pediatrician's this morning, and that's why I can't make this block. We will be in later today for block 7 and 8. So you can come find me in Library A if you're in crisis about the lesson that I'm going to attempt to do electronically. So, hello. Hope you had a good Tuesday. I've never done it like this before. I've always let the sub do it, but we're talking about Shakespeare, and you guys know, I'm kind of nerdy. Shakespeare's kind of my thing. So I thought, let's try it. And also, those of you interested in going to college, a lot of classes, even the in-person ones, have online components where you watch lecture and stuff. So it just might be a cool introductory thing for you to grasp too. I'll try not to be boring. So today we're going to talk a little bit and build on what we did on Monday. So if you don't remember, we looked at iambic pentameter, and that was the da-dum, 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 da-dum. So there's 10 syllables in a line, and we talked about in your packet, if you want to just look at it and review it quick, you can do that and hit pause. But as the riper should by time to cease, his tender air might bear his memory, and how Shakespeare wrote in that pattern on purpose. So, moving forward, we are actually going to talk about sonnets today. And sonnets, and I have the sheet, and I shared it with you. It's in your email, okay? Sonnet, S-O-N-N-E-T. And a sonnet is a poem in a specific format. So I want you to pull up, while you're listening, the document I shared with you this morning, and this is what I'm going to kind of be discussing. So it's a form of poetry, and it contains 14 lines. They are all written in iambic pentameter, so each line follows that da-dum, 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 da-dum pattern. The entire first 12 lines relate to one idea. So they relate to maybe love or a specific quality about a person. And then the last 2 lines subvert the meaning. And what that means, as you see my hand, I go subvert. It means flip it, change it, or validate it. So we're going to look at Sonnet 130 in a moment, and we're going to talk about that. So the basic thing that we need you to do is we need you to learn how to translate before we crack open Romeo and Juliet. Okay, and translating, if you take a world language, means just that. Looking at the Old English or the Elizabethan English and saying, what does this mean in modern day times? And it might seem frustrating at first, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, like pretty much everything else. So I'm going to, you can, like I said, pull up this poem. I'm going to point out that there is a rhyme scheme, and you can see it on yours too, right? It's, A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. And we give the different letters, or the different lines, letters that rhyme. So sun, done, red head, and then that part is done. And then it's white delight, cheeks, reeks, and then that part is done. So that's how the rhyming works in sonnets. So in Sonnet 130, are you looking at it? Look at it. In Sonnet 130, Shakespeare is writing about a woman, his mistress actually. It's very cute. Or is it? We'll find out. And I'm just going to read it. I want you to follow along. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, why then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I have seen roses damasked, red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfume there is more delight than in the breath that from my mistress reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath a far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, when she walks, treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare. So, I know you may have listened to that and been like, I don't know what's going on, that's crazy. It's a little crazy, but it's not impossible. So, when he says, every single line, lines 1 through 12, what I want you to do is I want you to pause this. I want you to talk with your group, and line by line, decide what he's actually saying, and I will do the first one for you. My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun. Okay, so let's take that literally, like all these lines. The sun is bright and dazzling and beautiful. So if her eyes aren't like the sun, they're probably dull and dark, and maybe there's not like anything special about them. So under the translation, I might write, her eyes are dull, period. It's that straightforward. So I want you to pause this and with your pod group, talk about the first 12 lines, okay?